Week 14 of the NFL season kicked off on Thursday night with the Patriots knocking off the Steelers, but we have more Week 14 action coming on Sunday, as well as the Giants playing on Monday night. So it's time for another edition of Hitting the Books, where we talk the best bets, and we're going to do it with my good friend north of the border, talented sports betting contributor. That would be Chantel Shand, who joins us now. Chantel, how is it going?
It's going good, Dex. Excited for this slate of NFL games this weekend, and always fun talking football with you.
Always fun to do this. All right, Chantel, let's start with the Jets. They are hosting the Texans. They are 3.5-point home underdogs. Ton of points not expected in this one, as the over-under is currently 33. Jets, they are losers of 5 straight games. The Texans, they're looking for win number 8 on the season, which might surprise some people. So what's your best bet for this matchup?
Well, this is really interesting because the line for this game has actually moved. The Texans were 5-point favorites earlier in the week. The Jets defense still very solid. The one thing that is always a concern is their offense. Zach Wilson is going to be starting for this one, and we know that he has struggled all season long with this offense to put up points. And then you take a look at the Houston defense, and they shut down Russell Wilson last week. So Houston's also in a very interesting position because that Trevor Lawrence injury in Jacksonville at the top of the AFC South. But if you really think about it, that division is wide open also for that wild card spot in the AFC. And CJ Stroud, he just gets it done. You think about the fact that Tank Dell got hurt, and then Nico Collins just has a massive game because CJ Stroud just figures out a way to get his teammates going, and then you see all of that progress. As for the Jets secondary, listen, they still have a really good secondary as well. Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, Whitehead. But I just think CJ Stroud will figure out a way to get this done for his squad. So I'm going to lay those points with the Texans.
All right, laying the points with the Texans and a rookie QB figuring it out. We will see what happens at MetLife Stadium on Sunday. Now, speaking of Sunday, big matchup for the day is in the NFC East. The Cowboys, they host the Niners. The Cowboys here, 3.5-point home faves, over under is 52 in this one, so the total opposite, expecting a lot of points in this one. Are you rolling with the boys, or do the Eagles bounce back here after getting beat down by the Niners last week?
You know what's funny? Once you play the Niners, the week after, the team still struggles because that Niners defense really beats up on that team that they just played. This is a very important divisional matchup, and I think it's time for Dak Prescott to really, really shine on prime time. As you know, he's been trying to quiet all those doubters, but for me, the Eagles defense just hasn't looked really good all season long. I thought they were going to get it together at least at some point this season, but it's that secondary that concerns me the most. Avonte Maddox gets hurt, and I just think that secondary looks really, really sus. So I know the Eagles' schedule has been extremely tough, and Jalen Hurts isn't 100%. So I'm going to lay the points with the Cowboys this week. I think they get it done at home.
All right, laying the points with the Cowboys. Cowboys Nation, they're going to be happy with you for that one, Chantel. You know that for sure. All right, we're going to go to Monday night where the Giants, they host the Packers. Green Bay, they're coming off a big Week 13 victory over the Chiefs. They are now 6-6. The Packers, they are 6.5-point road favorites here, over under 36.5 points. Are the G-Men and Tommy DeVito getting disrespected here with the spread? And is taking the Giants and the points a good play here?
I don't think they're getting disrespected. I think a lot of people are feeling the Packers right now because they beat the Lions, they beat the Chiefs, where they were very big underdogs. And then you take a look at a guy like Love. He has 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in his last 3 games. That is great efficiency. And the Giants are coming off a bye week. They're going to be very well rested. You mentioned Tommy DeVito, 2-1 in his 3 starts, but those 2 wins against really bad teams, the Pats and the Commanders. The Packers also dropped 382 yards on a very good Kansas City Chiefs defense. But I think it really comes down to how many points the Giants can also put up, and they haven't put up more than 14 at home all season long. So despite the fact that the Packers gave up about 148 yards on the ground, I do think Saquon is going to have a very good game. But for this one, I'm actually going to take the under. I don't think there's going to be too many points in this one.
All right, going with the under as your best play there. Last thing for me, Chantel, give the people 2 props, player props, that you were keeping your eye on this week. What are they?
Well, we just talked about the Giants. Saquon Barkley, he averages about 77 yards per game. His over-under for rushing yards is set to 67.5. And The Packers gave up 110 yards to Pacheco last week. So I like the over here for Saquon Barkley. And my second pick would definitely be CeeDee Lamb on Sunday Night Football. I just don't believe in this Eagles secondary after that Avonte Maddox injury. So I think CeeDee Lamb is going to ball out. His over-under for receiving yards, 92.5. I like the over there as well.
All right, CeeDee Lamb and local ties there with Saquon Barkley in the player props that Chantel's picked for this week. Chantel, always a great time talking football and NFL betting with you. It was really good. We'll see how all these picks turn out. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me, Dex.